It's been a really long time since I filmed, so thank you to anybody who is watching this. And obviously my look today is very like intergalactic, shimmery, glittery, holographic. This is kind of twofold purpose of kind of a makeup haul of what I got from Ulta recently, and also kind of a prep for what the look that I might do for an upcoming event that I'm going to, a Sapphic Seattle event that's cowboys and aliens themed. So I'm going as an alien, and I kind of have like this shiny metallic look that I'm going for. So I wanted some like glitzy makeup to go with it, and I really like how this turned out. Obviously I've got like a pride flag theme going on, which I love. So thank you again for watching, and let's go ahead and move right in. Okay, now the first thing that I'm gonna do while I'm getting my makeup on, I always do, is moisturize my lips. So this is a little lip balm by Crème, and it's Coroni, a Sandrio character. If you know, you know. She's really cute. So this is what the lip balm looks like, and I'm just going to moisturize my lips while I'm getting ready, and then I'll do lips, you know, at the end of the makeup look. Alright, so now that I'm moisturized there, I'm gonna go into my primer. So this is a new primer for me. I got this sample size because I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it, but it's the Professional primer by Benefit, but it's the light primer. So I have the regular Professional primer, and that one has like a tint to it. And I like it, but I was chatting with someone today, and they said that they really like this light formula and that that's what they use. And so I wanted to just try it out. So I'm going to put a little on the back of my hand. It's kind of this like pinky color, and it's water-based, but the texture almost reminds me of like a silicone-based primer. It's really similar to the like NYX blurring primer that's in that metallic, the silver little tube. Ooh, it smells kind of chemically, kind of weird. But it's you can tell it's like water-based as soon as you put it on because it feels very wet. And true to its name, it feels very light. I feel like the amount that I put on didn't really go a long way. One thing I'll say as I'm putting this on is I'm not seeing like a huge blurring effect, which is what the like Ulta representative kind of sold me on. She was like, it's very blurring. And I don't really see that so far. And the other thing that I would like say about this is that it's very wet and definitely not matte. So if you have a oilier skin type, like honestly, I don't know how much you would like this primer. I'm a little on the fence about it myself. I'm not like blown away, but we'll see. All right, so for my base, I'm gonna use my go-to Fenty Beauty. It's the blurring skin tint. So I don't really wear foundation. I think it kind of makes my skin look cakey, and there's just no real need to. I'll wear it like a couple of times a year for like a nice occasion. I have some that I've bought for weddings, but mostly the formula is just kind of too thick for me. So I wear tinted moisturizer or like skin tints if I'm wearing makeup. And this is in the shade 11. I have a couple different shades, but this one is the one that I'm like closest to right now. So I'm just putting a little bit on the back of my hand. And then what I usually do, this brush is not clean, but I take the Morphe M439 and just go right in. I'm not sure how this shade looks like on camera. You can tell as I'm putting it on that it's like a little bit more brown than my current skin tone, and that's just because my skin fluctuates so much from like winter to summer and depending on where I've traveled recently. And so it's hard for me to get like a perfect match, even among the shades that I own. So really I just like take the brush and blend it in. Sometimes I try to avoid my eyebrows because then you get like product buildup there that you have to spoolie out later. But I'm not being that careful right now. And then I lift up my little septum piercing to get it on my upper lip area. And that is, there's like a little fuzzy. And that's it on my base. So with my base done, I'm gonna go into blush. I love everything by Fenty Beauty, and the Super Bowl halftime show definitely reminded me of that. Rihanna is our queen. So today I bought a new Fenty Beauty cream blush, and I'm excited to try it out. I wasn't sure exactly what shade to get, so I got Petal Poppin'. The product itself is called Cheeks Out. And I really like cream blushes. I've been using a Rare Beauty one. This is cute because it's got like a little mirror in it. Usually I use my fingers for cream blushes, but I'm gonna try out using a brush because sometimes I don't really like to get my fingers dirty because that's just a lot of like washing while I'm doing my makeup. So I'm gonna use this Firma 103 brush, which is my like usual blush brush. It's kind of angled, which is more like a contour brush, but it's nice to like follow the shape of my cheek. I picked up this Morphe M405, but I haven't used it yet because the bristles seem a little bit like too flexible to me in a blush brush, but I like it a little bit firmer, kind of like this. But we'll see, I'll try it at some point. For now, I'm gonna use the brush that I usually use for blush. So I'm just kind of going in, picking some product up, and then I'm just gonna like dab on my skin. I don't think it's picking up the cream blush like particularly well. So I might have to go back to fingers or use what are those little things called? The sponges. I don't know, I'm blanking, but I might have to go with the little beauty blenders, that's what they are. Okay, cool. Well, I like this shade. It's like very much what I was expecting it to look like on my skin tone. And what I just love about like cream blushes is how they just kind of look like your skin in texture. There's no like powder. It just kind of makes you look very like natural and dewy, which is pretty much what I want to go for. So I'm not going to do anything crazy with the blush. I know that like blush on the nose has been a trend. I would love to do eventually like a really kawaii look with like blush right underneath my eyes because I think that's a cute trend, but I'm not going to try to do any of that right now. All right, next step for me after I do blush is typically going to be highlighter. So this is also a new product. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills stick highlighter. I usually use, for highlighters, I honestly usually use liquid. So this has been my go-to for a while. It's running really low, but this is like the Morphe 2 line in Gleam Catcher. It's their like liquid illuminator, they call it. And then sometimes if I want like an especially glowy look, I'll finish with a powder highlighter, but I don't really like the texture of powder highlighters on my skin, so I really stayed away from that. The only thing, again, with the liquid highlighters or illuminators is that I don't really like to get my fingers dirty too much. So I thought I'd try out this stick highlighter. Yeah, it's ABH and it's in the shade Iced Out. So this is what it looks like. I wanted something that was a little bit like warmer toned because I have a warm skin tone. So I'm just gonna put it like on the high parts of my cheekbones and kind of like melt it into where the blush hits. I try not to go too close to like the real like apple of my cheek because then it just looks really shiny. I try to hit like the high points of where light would naturally hit my cheekbones if I had defined cheekbones. So I'm gonna kind of just go in with like a little bit of a light touch and pat it out with my finger. It's a pretty highlighter. I feel like it kind of brings out the like texture of my skin in a way that I don't love, but that might also be because I'm under like a lot of lights right now for filming. And then I'm just gonna use what's on my finger to put on the tip and the bridge of my nose here. Now for contour, I don't usually do anything, but when I do, I use my ancient Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is really old. If you follow makeup, you know that the line isn't called Kat Von D anymore. It's just KVD. I think Kat Von D is separated from the brand. But it's all vegan products, which is cool. Some people really like that. So I kind of do a combination of different powders to set my skin. Honestly, if I'm doing everyday, I don't set my skin at all because skin tints or tinted moisturizers are so light that like I don't, it feels very like natural to just leave a product on my skin and not powder it. But if I am going to set it, I'll kind of like set part of it with the powder contour that I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna go in and just pick, I mean, I'm not even gonna show you guys the palette because it's like to the pan or just missing in like most of the slots. But I'm just gonna pick one of the remaining like darker shades that I have and go in with this little paddle brush. It doesn't have a name, it's like a travel size. I got off the internet in like 2016. But I like that it's just got this kind of like flat side to it. And I kind of like grip it in between my third and fourth finger like that and just go into the hollows of my cheeks. And you wanna like blend upward and towards your ear whenever you're applying contour or blush or anything. It just like draws the eye up. I would love to be one of those people that's really good at contouring. I'm just not. And then I take like a small brush like this. This isn't even a contour brush. I think it's like a large eyeshadow brush. It's a little on the large side for eyeshadow, but I like it for contouring. So I just like dip that in and then just do the sides of my nose a little bit. I'm not gonna like try to do an actual contouring look. Maybe someday I'll do that on film, but most of the time I don't ever contour. It's just kind of nice for like a nighttime look to just look a little bit more like angular. Okay, so that's that on contour. All right, so for final setting, I'm gonna use the Revlon Photo Ready Candid powder. It's a loose powder in the shade 001. And I honestly haven't used this a lot because what I was using for a setting powder was the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Illuminating Poreless Finish Airbrush Powder, I think is what it's called. I really liked that, but, and it's a pressed powder. It's very translucent. It doesn't have any tint to it at all, no pigment. I definitely dropped it and the pressed powder like broke, so I can't use that one anymore. And this is the first time I've set my face since then. So I'm just gonna use the Revlon one. I know it's an older product, like it was big a few years ago. You guys can see I've never used it, even though I've had it for a long time. So I am just gonna like take this little tape off. And then, oh, and for my brush, I'm going in with the e.l.f. powder brush. I have a lot of like e.l.f. dupes for Morphe brushes, and I like them all. But I do like the Morphe brushes for sure. Okay, so now there's some product on my powder brush, and I'm just gonna lightly tap it into the skin. You can see my eyelids have already like started to crease, because that's what my eyelids do. One of the reasons I don't wear concealer is because it always creases on and under my eyes. So that's the other thing about this video, is there will be no concealer. So since I used like pretty much all cream products except for a powder contour, I am just going over everything with a powder. You always want to do like your cream products first. And I like how this powder is looking. Like you can still see the illumination from the blush and the highlighter showing through. But I just look a little bit like less grimy. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna show you, we're gonna move on to eyes. I'm gonna show you the product I'm most excited about that I got today. It's a Juvia's Place palette called Garden of Juvia's. I really like Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes because they have amazing colors and they're really affordable. The brand itself is just a really good brand. Like I like their stuff. And so I actually bought this eyeshadow palette because when I was checking out at Ulta, I loved the cashier's makeup, and she said that she had used this palette to create the look. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it. It's an extra $25, why not? Look at how pretty it is though. Obviously I am just opening this now out of the packaging, so I've never swatched any of these colors, but just look. Ooh. Oh my gosh, like it does look like a garden. So my focus for this look is just gonna be purples. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do purples and some pinks. All right, moving into eyeshadow. So full disclosure, I didn't like wash my eyeshadow brushes before this video. So they're not perfect, but we're gonna do what we can. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start out. So what I'm gonna do for eyes, I'm gonna use a mixture of a couple different things that I got. I'm gonna use the powder and shimmers, the mattes and shimmers in this powder palette, but then I'm also going to try a couple other things. It might look a little crazy. I might end up like not using as many of these products when I go for my final look, but they're all new, so I wanted to test them out. So one thing I'm gonna use possibly as a base is this e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick. So I've tried some of their eyeshadow sticks before, but never the like shimmer ones. So this is what it looks like. And the shade is Champagne Crystal. And I like it because it just like takes a lot less time than typical eyeshadows. So I'm gonna go onto my lid and just see how this guy looks. I like it. It's not very pigmented, but it's a really nice like highlight color. Since it is shimmery, I wouldn't recommend using it as a base the way that I'm putting it on like all over the lid. But since I started that way, I'll just go ahead and keep doing it. I mean, definitely don't do this at home. I'm actually going to as well to like set the tone for the rest of the powders. I think I'm gonna take this white, okay, it's really dirty, but I'm gonna take this jumbo pencil from NYX that's just in this like white silver color and do the inner corners over that because, and actually honestly I'm just gonna go all over because this is gonna help the shadows stick to the base. And I'm going for a very like holographic, you know, shiny, shimmery neon look anyway, so I'm not too worried about overdoing it with the shimmers. So to put a little powder on, I'm gonna use this little e.l.f. brush. It was part of a promotion a few years ago, like a collaboration, I should say, and I don't know who the collaboration was with. They don't make this anymore. But I have it because I have a couple of these. I just got them for free with some e.l.f. orders, and they're kind of nice. Like, I don't think they're the best eyeshadow brushes. I just haven't had that much luck with them. The blending is kind of patchy, but these are the only ones that are clean right now in this size. So I'm going to pick up, oh, I just did it, so it's a little bit dirty, but I'm gonna pick up the shade Lilac You and just kind of start to put it on my lid. And this is gonna be pretty much the base for everything else I do. So, I mean, obviously I'm not being too precise. I'm putting it all over the lid and I'm starting to blend it up into the hollows of my eyes here, into my crease. And I think this is just gonna be a nice shade to build off of. And I like, honestly, that I used the shadow sticks underneath because I think it gives it a cool yeah, like holographic, glowy kind of look as opposed to just the powders. So I'm using a lot of the product because this brush just isn't really what you want. But as far as like the shadows themselves go, I mean, the formula I've like not been super impressed with. I love for the price point, the range of colors that they have, which is why I keep going back to them. But I would probably put it like similar to ColourPop in the actual quality of the powders themselves, if you use ColourPop, which I do. I like ColourPop. So now I'm going to take the bottom color Sweet Lilac, and I'm gonna go in with a slightly firmer brush. This one honestly might have a lot of shadow on it already from my like everyday palette, which is a lot of like warms, kind of like a bronze goddess kind of look. But this eyeshadow brush is the Morphe E17. I really like it. It's like an everyday brush for me. So again, I'm going into that darker shade of Sweet Lilac for the outer corners. And I'm not sure if there's other colors still on this, so I'm just gonna go really light, adding this to the outer corners. Ooh, I really like it. So I'm bringing it up now, up to my brow bone and out to the corners. And you guys can see my scar here. It's really cute, isn't it? All right, I really like this color. So I'm just gonna like really pack it on because it's not as pigmented like on the eye as it looks on the palette. I'm just gonna like blend it out towards the middle of my eyelid where I have that lighter pink or lighter lilac color. I'm really imprecise with my eyeshadow, so I've got to get better at like paying attention to the blending. I'm sure that the finished like look is gonna be very amateur looking because I just go all over the place, but that's what it is. So the glitter is what I'm a little bit torn about. So they have this Purple Orchid and Flower Child, which are kind of the shades that I want to try out. They also have this Blooming, which will be really pretty. So I'm probably going to use some of those, but what I also want to show you are these loose glitters, face and body glitters that I got from NYX. And so these ones I'm a little bit nervous about because I've never used loose glitter. Very nervous about that. So I also got from NYX this glitter primer. So I think what I'll do is use the Juvia's Place shimmers beforehand and then just try the loose glitter and see what happens. So for palette glitters or shimmers, what I like to do is take a flat brush like this. You see it's just like kind of a flatter thing here. It's actually a concealer brush. The brand is Jasmine LaBelle. So it's a concealer brush, but I actually like it for like packing on glitter. And what I do is take a mist or setting spray, and I randomly found this. It's a Lancome like tester size, fix it and forget it spray. So it's a setting mist, but I'm gonna use it as just like a way to wet the brush because brushes pick up glitters and shimmers better when they're wet. So I'm just gonna spray it a little bit. There's no need to get it like really wet. And then I'll go into Flower Child in the palette right here. All these colors are so pretty, like I cannot wait to use them. And then probably like middle of the eye to the outer corner is where I want this color the most. And then I'll just kind of like take a lighter hand and blend it towards the center. But definitely taking like a firmer hand, blending it out towards the corner. So this picked up a lot of shimmer. It's not really like, okay, first of all, there's shadow fallout coming onto my cheeks, which is why most people do their eyes first. and I didn't, which was a mistake. But I can always clean that up later. So you've got to be really careful about shimmers towards the edge of your eyes because shimmer and glitter is going to look worse the older you get on your eye skin. And this is where this area is where your skin is going to be the most like sensitive and wrinkly. And so it's going to look really textured and weird if you don't have like super tight, super young skin. And you know, I'm kind of like on that line right now. So I brought it out a little too far, but what I'm gonna do is just go back into the lilac color and try to like blend this a little bit more because I really don't like a harsh line between the lid and the crease. And I just think it like looks a little nicer if you fade the shimmer into powder. But you can see the difference between my right eye and my left eye already using this shimmer. This is the Flower Child shade, and I just really like it. I think it's really, really pretty. If I wanted to, like I could honestly stop here and not use any of the loose glitter. And I might in fact use that for a future look. Like just end it here for a future look if the loose glitter is kind of a hassle or doesn't turn out to be that pretty, or turns out pretty but just isn't worth the effort. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about like inner corner highlights right now. I'm just gonna try to do the loose glitter because that's what I'm nervous about. Alrighty, so for the glitter, I'm gonna try this, don't know if it's gonna work, but that IT Cosmetics Pore setting powder that I was talking about earlier that broke, I still have the packaging and I just cleaned out the pan from like the broken bits that were in there. And this is what I'm gonna use as a little palette for my glitter, I think. So I'm going into this face and body glitter in the shade number 2, I guess. It doesn't seem to have a name. Oh, Rose. The name is just Rose. So it's a little bit like, it's obviously going to be a lot like pinkier than what I am working with on the eyes right now because I've just got like lilac colors so far. I'm struggling a little bit with the little like plastic that they put over the little holes, so bear with me. Okay, so I'm just gonna pour it a little bit into the pan, just honestly really sparingly, just a tiny bit, and then put the cap back on the glitter. So this is what the pan looks like, if you can see it. And then I'm gonna just wipe, oh, the glitter primer. That's right. So I don't know how much like I need the primer if I already have some product already on there that's kind of sticky. But you know, I'm gonna use it anyway. So I think for this, I'll just put it directly on the lid. So again, I'm gonna focus on like the outer third here, and I'm just gonna dab it in with my finger. And to be honest, this might have been a mistake. That's a lot of product. It's very like thick, it's very sticky, which is probably a really good thing if you're putting loose glitter on your face or body. So yeah, I hope it works out. Kind of an interesting texture. So I will take the same concealer brush. I'm just wiping off the purple. But I'm gonna take the same concealer brush and just dip it into the loose glitter and then pat it. Oh, so glittery. Oh my gosh. So there's no real blending to be done here. It's honestly just like patting on the glitter. So you can see that the color is definitely like more rose gold than purple. Oh, I really like it. Wow. That really pops. I'm glad I used the glitter primer because I think it would just not have had the same effect if I didn't. Very pretty. Ooh, very, very pretty. I'm gonna pick up the rest of it with this brush. And then I'm gonna clean the brush and go in to do the same thing with the silvery one that I have for the kind of inner corner highlights. And this one is in the shade Crystal. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. All right, you can see the shimmer that I put like kind of in the inner half. So you can kind of see it kind of goes from a gradient of like silver to darker purple. I can make this look more exaggerated, more pronounced, but in the interest of time, and also because I really like how it looks right now, all I'm gonna do is put a little bit more of this like jumbo pencil in here to brighten up my inner corners. And obviously this color is like a little bit too crazy for most looks, but since this is kind of like an intergalactic shiny vibe, I am here for it. And I'm just gonna like kind of soften it a little bit with my finger. Because it came on very strong. Again, like my eyeshadow technique is super imprecise, so I know that most people are watching this like cringing a lot right now, but not me. For eyeliner, I have a new eyeliner that I want to try. So it's the NYX Vivid Brights and liquid liner, and the shade is called Don't Think Twice. So I'm gonna try doing some graphic liner in a couple of different colors. So I do have some lilac colored liquid liner, but it's a little too matchy and I want it to pop. So what I'm also using is the NYX liquid liner, and I've had this for a really long time, so the label's rubbed off. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what it's called. The shade is Sapphire, I know, and this is like what it looks like. It's like a cobalt blue. So I am going to use that. All right, I'm not very good at like graphic color liquid liner, but what I'm gonna do is try to put the blue on the bottom and then some pink on the top. So wish me luck. So what I'm gonna do is just wing it like I usually do, like create a wing. And I start a little bit like kind of the outside of my pupil. No, the outside of my iris. Rather than going all the way to the inner corner. It's just a different look. And then I just wing it out to the side like that. I kind of don't love the like texture of this liquid liner. I really like the color, but it's kind of hard to get like a very precise wing. It's kind of like a goopy texture. So often I have to like kind of build it up a little bit to get the lines to look the way I want them to. Sweet. Okay, I really like how the blue turned out. I hope I don't mess it up by adding pink. But I'm gonna try to do just a double layer. I'm not even sure how well the pink will show up because it looks kind of light. Ideally, I would let this dry, but I'm gonna see what happens when I don't. So I'm just gonna start like maybe in more towards like the center of my pupil this time and just create a line. And wow, I actually really like this formula better. I know they're both NYX, but like this pink one is part of their Vivid Brights line, and the blue isn't. The blue is just like their regular liquid liner formula. And this one is less like thick, and I feel like it's easier to manage. Like I'm obviously not doing an excellent job of it right now, but I think that it's like a little bit wetter and it allows me to be a little bit more precise. So now I'm just gonna kind of like fade that in. And oh, I'm realizing that it definitely looks like a pride flag, and I am here for it, you guys. I unintentionally created the bisexual pride flag. Like, are we so proud of me right now? This is honestly like the most serendipitous coincidence. Woo! Okay, I love the colors together. I love that we're repping pride. And I am having a hard time getting the eyeliner to be even. Like it's thicker on this side than this side, so I hope I don't mess it up by going in again. You know what? It's not that even, but I think I'll take it. While I let my eyeliner dry before putting on mascara, I am gonna do brows. What we're gonna do for brows is we're gonna go in with the NYX brow glue first. And this was like really popular a few years ago. I'm not sure like how much of a standard it remained. Like I'm not sure if this is still a go-to product for a lot of people. I honestly haven't used it in a long time. I just saw it in the store and was like, oh, what a throwback. So I'm just doing this first. I've definitely heard like a lot of criticisms against this product. Some people think that the formula is a little bit too like tacky, and some people said that it kind of ruins their other brow products if they use this as a base. So just take that with a grain of salt. But I like it. My eyebrows are kind of in a state right now. They haven't gotten any like TLC in a long time, but I think it's nice. Like I think this product is nice to just kind of like brush out the hairs, and I can even spike them up a little bit to make them look a little fuller, although you don't want that like too much, and then you just kind of swoop it to the side so that you don't look crazy. And it dries as you apply it, so it gets really like tacky and thick after it's in contact with hair for a little while. Okay, I'm not gonna like do too much with brows. But what I am gonna do to put color on them, since that the brow glue is just colorless, I'm gonna use the Benefit Brow, whatever it's called. Like I've had this for so long that the label has also rubbed off, but it's like it's not a pomade, it's like a, I don't know what you call it, but it's tinted. And I don't recall what shade I am in the Benefit Brow products. But it's really nice. Like I'm kind of embracing my natural brows lately. I need to get them waxed or threaded, obviously. But I used to use a lot of like pencil products, and you know, I think for today I'm good with just this. Like it's got some pigment to it. So we're just gonna do that. All right, since we're talking about Benefit products, we're gonna use the Benefit mascara. So this one is called Bad Gal Bang, and I've never tried it before. So my usual go-to is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara. This one advertises itself as like bigger, badder volume, and I think the packaging even says 36 hour, but I really like volume. I don't really care about it lasting that long. The color is Intense Pitch Black, which is really nice because I have like black hair and black eyelashes, so I like my mascara to be black. This is just the mini kind, the mini version, because I didn't know if I would really like it or not. But I like trying new mascaras, but I always seem to come back to the CoverGirl Lash Blast. Okay, so luckily it looks like my eyeliner has dried enough that I'm not messing it up. So I'm just going in and curling my lashes. I know that a really nice eyelash curler is like Bobbi Brown. I don't use that. This one is like a drugstore brand. I didn't like the e.l.f. one, and I don't like the CoverGirl ones. But yeah, this one is nothing special. This is what the wand looks like of the mascara, and I'm just really gonna go for it. One tragic thing about me is that I 99% of the time make a mess when I'm trying to put on mascara. I don't know what it is. I don't know how everybody else is doing it so well. and it's just me out here every single day making a mess. But what I usually do, I should have a Q-tip on here. Hold on, crisis averted. What I usually do, honestly, is put on my mascara before anything else, and it gets all over my eyelid, but then I clean it off with some makeup remover on a Q-tip, and then I put on all of my other makeup. And I only know one other person in the world who does that. It's the friend who taught me how to do that in middle school. Okay, this mascara, I'm not mad about it. It's a really thick formula. So it's hard to put on multiple coats. I'm used to like a much thinner formula where I just load up the coats. This one, like, I can tell is starting to get a little bit like spider leg-y and thick, like, even though it hasn't been exposed to air that long, it's just drying and like loading up really fast. So that kind of contributes to their claim about volume. Okay, folks, for lips. This is new. I got the KVD lip liner in, what color is this? Roxy is the color. And it is purple. I have like one purple lipstick and I don't like how it looks on me. It's a NYX one and it's like a light purple. I don't like how it looks on me, so I've stayed away from purple lips, but I think what I'm gonna try to do is like line the lips and blend down for like an ombre effect, and then put on one of these, and I haven't decided which one yet, but one of these Essence Glow lipsticks. So this is the Essence Glimmer Glow lipstick that says it's color changing. It doesn't seem to have a shade associated with it, but look at how cool that is, like very iridescent. So I'm like interested to see what that looks like. And then this is the Essence Electric Glow that also says it's color changing. This one has the similar like iridescent look to it, but it's like a slightly different shade. So I don't know how it's gonna look, but I'm excited to try it out. So I'm going in with the crayon lip liner. I like that it's retractable because I hate sharpening pencils. Right, now that that is on and blended, I'm going in with the Electric Glow one. I know I'm gonna get it dirty putting it on purple lined lips, but I'm like excited to see what it looks like. Okay, this is what the color looks like. Once again, I don't really like purple on me. But you know what, it just occurred to me that would be really fun to do is put some glitter on my lips, because why not? Last little thing is going to be setting. I have a lot of setting sprays as it is. I have kind of like tended to use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. It's been like a standard for so long that so many people use it as a go-to, and I always seem to like end up with it. So that's just been like an easy go-to, but I'm excited to try this one. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Setting Spray. And I like, in the winter, I kind of like a dewy setting spray because everybody's skin is like so dry, everybody can use a little more moisture and dewiness. Whereas like if you're gonna be going out or going to an event where you're gonna be like sweating and really shiny and you don't wanna look shiny, like obviously don't use a dewy setting spray. The Urban Decay All Nighter is good, and then they have the matte one too, which I don't have. So I'm gonna just spray this a little. Okay, and there she is. So yeah, you can tell it's a little like wet looking of a product. And then honestly, you can even go in and set with a little bit more powder over your spray if you want to. I kind of like that. I'm just using like whatever little powder was left on this brush and going in to set it. So that, my friends, is the finished look. Gosh, like it's really fun with my purple hair, and I feel like it looks very intergalactic. If I do end up doing this look for like an alien themed night. I'll probably glue some like jewels to my face, I'm not sure. So if you guys have any like feedback for me, definitely let me know, and thanks so much for watching this video.